What's
What's up?
up?
What
Oh
fun?
yeah, you are so loud.
Oh, am I? Well, let me
You're
fix
like
that.
insane, like feedback loud. Yeah, appreciate you.
Is that better?
That's a lot better.
Oh,
Shared on everything.
yep. So we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Let's get it,
Whoop
dude.
whoop. One of these days, I think we'll eventually make it to TikTok.
Yeah. Well, when we get to TikTok, that's when we'll be relevant.
I know, right? Right.
Like we said in the last episode, it's TikTok has very much so been the social media of everything. I mean, it's where everybody gets everybody's news. It's where the news come from now. So
Yeah, it's also very easy to get viewers because where it puts it in a scroll, people that you do know or you do follow versus you don't, to where Facebook, um, you just see who you follow or who you're friends with. You just see their stuff, so they get you out there.
oh, for sure. So you sent me a list
So
of topics. What we got on the agenda?
yeah, two. So we've got a follow up basically on the protest in the U.S. with the pro Palestinian protest, and then also over the last day or so, there has been 44,000 hours of video footage released from the January 6th insurrection, or whatever you want to call it, the event on January 6th, which I probably watched a couple hours of it just from last night to today, and it's nothing new, nothing that nobody's already covered or said. So it's just
Yeah.
different
So
viewpoints.
I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna share this. So because they haven't really since the PSA and everything going on, they haven't really been forward on the press about there even being protests. So I got this pulled up and I just want y'all to see this. So this is at our capital, and as you can tell, it's very pro Palestinian. Um, but nobody has been talking about this at all.
Yeah, at all. And I noticed too, in do what?
I didn't say nothing.
Oh, I thought you did. My bad. No, hey, sorry about that. Um, yeah, so in that particular one there in Washington D.C., the biggest thing they were chanting was about the whole like defunding or stop funding Israel and everything. And so I got to looking, and there would be, I feel like, a lot of consequences if we just completely stopped as far as what we do for Israel. This battle between them two has been going on for decades, and we have historically we've always been on Israel side. So I feel like there could be some negative recourse if we just completely up and backed out. They are our government is having meetings with the leaders in Israel and stuff to try to find ways to prevent a massive war. I did read a few things on that today, but I think it's a lot more complex than just cutting them off, and I think that's what people need to understand, especially the ones protesting. They have to understand it's a lot more complicated than just not writing the next check.
Right, for sure. And then the thing that's been getting me is like most of these protests, the pro Palestine ones, they're protesting and shouting ceasefire, and I'm confused on that because I mean, Israel did not fire first. America did not fire first. So, and then there was even Biden was commenting on it, and this is from Financial Times. But Biden says a ceasefire is not peace and calls for Hamas to release hostages. Um, so again, the ceasefire on the Hamas side, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because they shot first. They did unhumane attacks first. So why are they the ones screaming ceasefire? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's like they realized that they did what they done was not in the best interest or the right thing to do, and so now they're trying to backtrack.
For sure. And now we got up. What's up, Caroline? And now we got all this chaos is now started, and now you got people who support Hamas and is with Hamas demanding the ceasefire and everything. But if you didn't want the repercussions, then you shouldn't have done it in the first place. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right, and I'll
all
tell you too, watching the videos of the protest and everything, it's a lot of young people, a lot of young individuals out there protesting, and I feel like in that sense, again, historically, when it comes to having younger people involved with stuff like this, they don't look at all the facts. A lot of them will go off what their parents have done in the past, what their parents say. They may have family, like over in that area, and they're concerned for them, and this is the only way that they know to help. Um, I feel like there's a lot of education that could happen, or that should happen with these young individuals that are out here protesting, because I don't feel like they have all the facts, and I don't feel like they are protesting on their own behalf. I feel like they are doing it because of, like I said, their family and whatnot.
for sure. And this conflict, I mean, as we have talked about, it's far from over. Um, the it's already been started. Israel is going to finish it. Whether you know whether Iran gets involved and then we start getting involved a little bit heavier, but it's far from over. I mean, it's just the beginning of all that conflict. I mean, they can't do what they did and then just expect it to just go away.
Yeah, for sure.
So another thing that revolves around war. I know you didn't send this in our agenda, but this is just a little update on the Russian Ukraine thing. So obviously that's still going on. Russia shot down a Ukrainian drone headed straight towards Moscow. So it looks like, you know, Ukraine is starting to use a little bit more of the intelligence side of things and um, go in with more of a because with we'll just put it this way, with all the technology we got, we you could have a whole war without even putting a single soldier on the ground. I mean, that is literally
Oh
the
yeah.
world we live in. I think I was watching Joe Rogan's show, and they were talking about he was talking to somebody. He was almost like a doomsday prepper, almost in a way. But they were talking about, oh, it wasn't even a doomsday prepper. It was Theo Vaughn. Um, but they were talking about if Russia or China or um any of them were to attack us, they wouldn't march right over here, but they wouldn't at all. They would do anything they
No.
can to shut down our grid, take our phones away, take all of our internet, all this and all that stuff that you don't need away, and we'll destroy ourselves at that point.
Oh yeah, because we wouldn't have the communication. We wouldn't have all that stuff that you said that we don't need, but we feel like we do. Um, and again, that's going to come more and more with more and more generations as it gets farther and farther away from analog and goes more into digital. So many people depend on just the ease of a cell phone. I was just the other day talking to somebody about remembering being a kid, and um, my grandmother had one of those bag phones, and it was like $5 or $6 a minute just to use it. So they were pretty much just for emergencies. But to talk to somebody, you actually went to them, and yeah, it would definitely, if we ever got hit like that, if they took down even even just like the community, like not even the whole like electrical grid, just the communications grid, the cell phone towers, and the that kind of thing, it would definitely be devastating. And I agree
Oh,
with you. I feel like that's what they would focus on. It wouldn't be trying to get boots on the ground here. It would actually, quite frankly, it would be stupid of them to try to put boots on the ground here, because there are so
oh,
many
without a doubt.
people, just common everyday citizens, that would throw down.
Yeah, exactly. And that, not only that, like it just wouldn't it almost be just a complete unfair warfare because you got to think about places like Edmonton and places like Nelson County, or I mean, it's it's one of those things, like all the people who hunt around there and all the people like who have all these guns and everything, like they would have the advantage 100% straight off the bat. I mean, like you think about family members that we know places that you know people who are from not from there know about, like in Barron County, I know a couple spots that I'm sure you've never heard of, and it's just one of that's just unfair advantages if they tried. And there's so many guns and regulation between the American people. It's it would be it'd be a tough one, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, when it comes down to that, I think, as far as any country now or in the future that had any conflict with us, it would definitely be a it would definitely be a missile war. It would be a long distance war.
Oh yeah.
It would be a technical war, and they would be trying to take stuff like that out.
Yeah, and something that I've looked into a little bit. I haven't done like hardcore research, but American, when it comes to homeland defense in general, like we really don't have much. Like we don't have no Iron Dome like Israel does. We don't have anything like that. I mean, so like we are very vulnerable when it comes to airstrike.
Well, I think to a degree, depending on the technology that whatever country it is, because I mean we do have the satellites and the radars and things that they can detect that stuff pretty far out to be able to shoot it down or to stop it before it even breaks our airspace. It would take a lot of very under the radar stealth type stuff to get through to us, I think.
Oh, for sure. So you said something to me earlier about the January 6th, something about new video releases and stuff. Um, so I have not heard anything on that yet. What can you tell me what you saw?
Yeah, so
Um,
they well, now I can't remember the guy's name. I'll have to look him up. But it was put out to have all the video released to the public from the January 6th event. And out of the videos that I watched, none of it is anything too different than what we had already seen. It's just a little more detail, a few more different angles. The one that really caught my eye was they actually, and this was on what was like MSNBC or something, one of the bigger news outlets. They had pointed out that there were actually individuals in the crowd pretending to be like Capitol Police uh, law enforcement, and but these same individuals were breaking out windows. They were trying to tear down doors. They have um, they have video of them, or when they started videoing these people doing this stuff, these people would turn around and then try to blame these other protesters for what they had done, even though it was clearly on video. That was a pretty big deal. So that definitely tells me that there were other individuals there that were not there for the same reason as your everyday um, Trump supporter or whoever it was that was there.
I mean,
It was also a lot of video of um, yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just gonna tell you. I mean, most of the people that were there really is like extremist. There's like your average Trump supporter did not go. I mean, they probably talked about it, and they probably, I mean, I wish I would have went there. You know what I mean? But stuff like that. But like those people were definitely extremists, and there's still the question of what was the supporters, what was Antifa, and what was instigating everything, because the Capitol building, for one, is, I mean, so I've toured it before. it's not that it's not that easy of a building to just maul down, especially in times like that. I mean, they were even prepared for protest. You know what I mean? So there's definitely
Right.
some weird stuff going on for people, random people, to just be able to waltz right in. I'm telling you, there's got to be something behind it, because for one, they, like I said, they were prepared for protest. That building is not the easiest to even get into, even as a tourist, when you sign up for a tour.
Right. And I'll tell you something. You saying that a lot of those videos that was released, there are a few of them that are very aggressive. Again, there's people trying to push through in the very beginning. But there's also a lot of videos of the Capitol Police escorting people through the building. So one of the most famous individuals was the, what did they call him? The QAnon something. But he's the guy that had the big headdress on. His face was painted blue and red. Um, there's actually one of the videos they released was one of the Capitol Police escorting him into the main chambers of the Congress, where we all seen the famous picture of him sitting up behind the or sitting up in the chair with his feet up on the desk. He was escorted in by the Capitol Police into that building or into that room. So there's that happened a lot, which to me is odd. Like you have these individuals trying to get into one of the most sacred buildings for us in the country, and you're just going to walk with them, and they were fist bumping and shaking hands, and there's a lot to it. I agree with you. There's something internally is definitely out crazy about it.
For sure. I mean, I went. So I toured the Capitol building when I was in high school, and like we had to do like security clearances just to even go tour it as high schoolers, like with a group. You know what I mean? So it's it's pretty wild to me that I don't know. It's just there's definitely, like you said, there's definitely some weird stuff, and there's definitely some stuff going on that that went on that day that definitely put it in someone else's interest.
Yeah, it was something. And if the actual truth and all the details will ever come out, probably not. It will just be a situation of anytime. Now, this is the conspiracy person in me coming out, but anytime that the government needs to hide something, they're just going to bring it back up. They're going to release a little bit more video, or they're going to release a little bit more information on it. Because that's the first thing I sent to you when I seen it. That what was why were they releasing it, and what were they about to try to cover up with it?
Right. Now, speaking of like all this going around and everything, and obviously we're coming up on an election year, so obviously we're about to see a bunch of crap that we've never seen before, because that I feel like that's when we get all the information, is when it's ready to be let out for a reason, always for a reason. And we're coming up on an election year. Now, have you seen the latest polls for the presidential race?
Um, Not in a few weeks. I haven't looked at them in a couple weeks.
So, literally, so Trump is literally is so if the election was tomorrow, Trump would have a 5 point lead.
Oh, no doubt. He definitely's
And
got the following, and
it's crazy, because there's a bunch of people out there that say, "Oh, it would never happen." Indictment after indictment, indictment, more indictments, and it's wild, because I mean, you can say indictments, and you can say, he caused January 6th, or you can say that he caused this or that and this, but it looks like, I mean, so people are still backing him. I mean, regardless. So like this is what I've said, because I've talked to many people about it. Did Trump run his mouth too much? Absolutely. He ran his mouth more than anybody that I've ever seen in that type of role run their mouth. But I'm going to tell you, he didn't take crap from other countries, and economically our country was in a tremendous state.
oh, for sure. And that's one thing that I said through his entire presidency, that the president has a social media liaison, or a person that takes care of their social media for them. They should not be on it themselves. They have he had so many other things to deal with and take care of. The last thing on his mind should have been worrying about putting a tweet out, or trying to keep up with the social media. That was for me. That was really the only thing that just kind of irked me about him. Pay attention to everything else. Don't worry about Twitter. Let your people take care of that. Um, I do think that, and I said it from way back the very first time that he ever said that he was going to run. They were on him so hard. the the media and the like everybody, and I said, give him enough rope to hang himself. If the man's going to mess up, how is he going to mess up if you've already got him condemned? He's spent too much time trying to defend himself instead of trying to actually run the country like a president should. And so I'm hoping, it probably is not going to happen, but I'm hoping if he by chance does win again, maybe it'll be a little different. Maybe they'll back off enough to let him do whatever it is they think he's going to do and then call him out for it.
Right. And we live in the weirdest politics era that I've ever seen in your lifetime, that you've probably ever seen. Um that the fact that a president can be voted out, go through all these indictments, decide he's going to run again, still go through more indictments, and I mean, he's barely even campaigned and is already polling in the lead. I mean, that
Right.
is literally mind blowing. And I'm gonna just tell you too, when it comes to voter turnout, Trump Trump literally changed the game.
Yep. Now I will tell you, as far as the voting process and everything goes, the worst thing they could have done was done the whole mail in voting thing. That had now had Biden would have won and it that not had happened, I would have never batted an eye or said a word because the process was followed. The downfall and the reason why there was so much pushback and backlash was because of the mail in ballots. And that was
Oh,
just that should have never happened. I mean, again, I think what was it the last episode we was talking a little bit about it, and we was talking about when we go vote, we have to show our ID to prove who we are. So if that's the case, then how does the mail-in ballot thing valid?
without a doubt. And you can't. There is no way to verify it at all. There is no. I mean, there is no way to. So when I mean, and when I say verify, there's no way to verify that that person actually voted, and there's also no way to verify that it's not being fraudulent either. There, we have poll locations and poll workers for a reason. And I'm not saying that the poll locations and the poll workers can't, you know, falsify records, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be it's gonna be less of a chance, at least, because there's always somebody. It's, I mean, those are ran like businesses. There's always somebody watching, so you have more of a chance to catch whatever you need to catch or whatever, because you know, so at some point somebody's gonna catch it.
Oh, for sure. Drink break.
Drink break. But but yeah, so that's I haven't seen the videos. I'm gonna watch them though, for real. Um
Yeah, and we can get a little bit more into them next episode too after you've watched them because there's a lot more that I'm wanting to watch. It just was a crazy week this week, and then we had a dinner yesterday evening, and so I didn't get a chance to watch as much of it as I was hoping to. But yeah, I'm going to definitely go through and watch some more of them.
so this is the Iron Dome, and I'm just showing this for the viewers. The Iron Dome is like, it's actually pretty neat of how it works. And so basically when they have this whole system, it's almost like a giant smart flare system. And it detects when like missiles or, I mean, I've even read something where like it just detects unknown objects, period, that's coming towards, and it shoots these little like flare almost type things at the missiles and stuff, and it basically disarms it. It basically just blows them up in the sky. But I just think it's so neat how that thing works. I'm I can't tell you how many videos I've watched of that.
Yeah,
But
and it's not a bad system. I mean, it seems
oh,
to work
it
pretty good.
works. It has stopped so much. Just think, just think if they didn't have that, how much more damage would there be? For
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, for sure.
Um, but got big plans for Thanksgiving.
I'm actually working Thanksgiving, which I know we're getting together with the family the Saturday after. We'll have a big. You're coming to that, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. Hey, maybe
Hold on,
episode.
everybody. We have to have a family meeting real quick about Thanksgiving.
Maybe episode 3 we can just do it all at your house instead of doing the remote thing. We can do it. We can do
That'd be cool. When are you coming
yeah.
down?
So I'll be so I get off work Friday at 4 o'clock, and then dang, we really are having a family meeting. But I get off at 4, and then I'll be coming on down. I'll be there, and then I'm staying till Sunday evening. So nah. So
Yeah, well, bring your stuff and we'll set up in the dining room and record. Maybe we can kill this lag. We've gotta figure out this lag situation because it makes it hard to talk back and forth without having like this super awkward space in between laughs and stuff
yeah, there's
like that.
that. I don't know. Really, like, I mean, because even when we used Zencaster, there was still kind of a lag. Um, but I don't really know what else to do to fix it. I mean, other than just drive down there every Saturday and record it.
Yeah. No, we'll get something figured out, but I think that's all we've got unless you have anything else that you was wanting to run over or that you didn't tell me to look at.
No, it's all good. Um, no, that's all I got. So, make sure y'all like and follow our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Twitch. We're going live on all of that now. Um, we're going to try to figure out how to get TikTok incorporated soon. Corey has the ability to go live on TikTok. I do not, so it'll only be on his for right now. And then so
Well, I do think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna over this next week create a TikTok page just for just for this. And so I can go ahead and start getting it growing and building. If I can get it up over 1,000, then we'll have two that we can go live on, and we can that'll be another way to get out there. So I'll work on that this week. I'll get it out so all of y'all can follow it if you're on TikTok and all that fun stuff.
right. So with that being said, that's all we got for today. You all have a phenomenal Thanksgiving. Enjoy the turkey, enjoy the ham, enjoy the deviled eggs, enjoy everything. Um, y'all, y'all be safe. Y'all have a good one.